and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this little slimline pocket card with a tag, and you can also open it. You can add your sentiment in there if you would like. Okay, we are going to use these lovely dies from Creative Expressions, Craft Dies by Sue Wilson, one of the floral panels. And Sue Wilson has quite a lot of these floral panels. This particular one is called Peony, and you get 5 dies. So you get the Peony panel, and this cuts in. It cuts. I never know. It cuts in to your piece of card. It doesn't cut out, so you don't get a piece out. You just cut into the card. And then with all of these floral panels, you get a foliage panel as well as the flower panel. So this particular one is ivy. And if you do have any of these other sets, then they're all interchangeable. There's a few other videos on our channel. Just have a look for some different ideas to use these floral panels with. So you also get the outer die. So if you want to cut out, like I've done in the blue for both of these, then you use them together. And then I've also used these on their own to cut out the background piece, because then I know it fits exactly behind the little piece there. Okay, so let's start by looking at how we make our little base card here. So I always, when I'm working out what I'm going to do for these videos, I usually start with paper and play around with it to get the measurements. It's always a good idea to keep hold of these. I have a big folder because it helps me and would help you to remind me of my measurements and what I did. So my card here, you can see it's 7.5 inches by 6 3/4. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've got it round the right way. Yes, and I'm going to score it at 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to flip it, and I'm going to score it at 5. So I've basically scored it in 2, 3. Now you could make this bigger if you wanted. I just felt that I wanted it to be pretty much the same size to fit, so that this would fit on a tag and the tag would fit in. So the reason I scored on 2 different sides is because I need that piece is going to be the front of the card, and this piece is going to be the inner. So they go 2 different ways. Okay, so I'm going to open this back out, and you can see from my sort of template that I've cut away here. So what I've done is I've measured 1 inch down. I'm just going to fold it back up, and I'm going to get my pencil, and I'm going to just mark on 1 inch, which is there. Okay, and so what I want to do is I'm going to well, I don't need to draw the line. If you want to cut by hand, or you can, or if you want to do it with a craft knife, you could equally do it on here. Just be careful that you are going to not go too fast. So go. A little bit of a raggedy edge, and I think I missed the end of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy that up with my scissors. You see I've got that little bit there that didn't quite catch. So I'm just going to snip that. I'm going to do it that way, because then I'm going to get more likely to be in the right line, like so. And then I'm going to snip it off down here. Okay, there. And so, right, so that's our base card, and it folds over like this. And then we're going to I'm going to put some red line tape down here and here. So I've got very thin red liner tape. This, I think it's 3mm. Just grab a ruler that's got millimeters on. I think this is the smallest, the 3mm one. Yeah, it's the 3mm one. What you don't want to do is to make to use a really thick one, because you want to be sure that you're going to be able to get your tag inside. So just be a little bit careful. You can use glue if you would prefer to use glue. It is personal preference. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm getting that right up to the edge. I'm just going to cut that off. And then same along this side, try and get it right up to the edge so that you're not sort of taking up any of the inner space, and you're not going to have the edge lifting either. Okay, so taking that to there, and then taking that off there. Right, and then just making sure that I put that on the right side, because know me, sometimes I manage not to. So I'm going to take off the tape. Now, quite often if I've taped something, I only tend to take a little bit off, but there is nowhere else for this to go. I haven't got to line anything up. It's literally just going to fold straight over onto this part of the card, like so. So I now have my card base, and so I have already cut this. I have cut, I don't know why I've got this out. This is for the front of the card. That is cut with one of these dies, but I don't need that right at the moment. So I have a piece that will fit on here. Okay, so that's going to go like so. I feel like I've missed something slightly different. Oh look, there you go. I think I cut my card. You see, I've cut my card slightly higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that off. The reason being is, I said before, I was trying to get it a particular size. So let's see if we can do with that. I'm just going to cut that little bit off. The only thing I can't now do is sort this bit out, but I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to go with it as it is, because this would be 1 inch down to here. You see what I mean? It would come, the cut should be down to here, but we're just gonna, it's not really gonna show, so I think I will live with it. Okay, that always a good idea to check your measurements. So this obviously wasn't the right piece of paper. Never mind. We have salvaged it. It will work. And I'll tell you what else I've done wrong. Oh, it's going to be one of those videos, you know, when you're like, this should have been stuck in as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke it in there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some 3D glue gel. It was all going so well. No, it's not. Now, I haven't cut a complete panel. I don't need to, because this is only going to show at the top. So I'm just going to push this in. There we go. Just so that it's there at the top and we can see that little bit there. Okie dokie. And then this bit, let's get our other glue back out. So I'm just going to now check what this measurement is. It is 6.5. This obviously was not, or this was 6 3/4. I must have changed my mind. 6.5. So what I'm going to do, so that I know next time, is I'm going to put 6.5 on there so I remember. Okay, right. Glue. Stick this front piece on. Thing is, when you know, we all end up with these little mishaps. Just whether you can find a way out of them, and hopefully not done too bad a job here. That is the only bit that might annoy me, but I'm not sure I can do anything about it. Hey ho, keep going. Right, So that, oh, and this piece goes on the inside. This is to decorate the inside of our piece there. There you go. There we go. Sorted. Right. I also have my tag already made. And my tag cut from a piece that is 2 1/8 by, let's check, by 6.5. Yeah, 2 1/8 by 6.5. I just snipped off there and punched a hole. So I've got my tag there, which I'm going to add my little bit of background paper. You can see I've written tag on the back. So I knew that that was the one for there. So that's going to fit there. Excellent. So my little base card, the base of my tag are all ready to go. And I've got the 2 background pieces, both of which were cut using these dies. So I know that they're going to fit, excuse me, exactly on our piece of card there. I'm just going to put the lid back in my glue, not the lid, the pin back in my glue. Okie dokie. Right, so let's grab our dies. What I didn't mention earlier is that all the sets tend to come with one of these little additions. This one's a lovely little bee. We're not going to use it on this particular project, but have a look on the channel because there is one where I have used the bee. Right, I'm going to take those out, and I need some of the blue card, and we are going to put them on here, and I need some tape. Try it now. I've just seen I've got a piece of card in my die. It might only be a tiny little piece. You see a tiny, tiny, weeny piece. But what it does, it prevents it cutting properly in that area, which can then sort of affect the areas close to it. Okay, so there. And there. Oh, I didn't do the bottom of this one. Let's do the bottom of this one as well. Okay, now I am going to use, because I'm putting them both through. Whoa! Nearly lost my cutting crap. Over the end of the... Oh, come here. Right, I'm going to use the magnetic shim on this because I'm putting them both through at the same time, and I want I want to try and get this to cut and emboss in one pass. Okay. These dies are really quite versatile. I've used them on gatefolds, I've used them on boxes. There's quite a lot of scope for these right now. You can see that everything's falling out. I can also sort of see from the back that we can see the embossed detail. So I'm just going to remove. Now, this is what putting the extra pressure on can do. You can see that it pushes the tape right into the card. So just be aware of that. Yeah, on all edges it looks like it's going to do it. Yeah. Something to be aware of. Particularly if, you know, if that was part of the thing that you wanted, then you just then you'd be in a bit of a stuck. But luckily we don't in this particular project. So I'm putting those 2 outer ones back. I'm going to pull that out. See a few little bits left in the dry. We'll just put the roller brush over, clean that all out. And that one's done. And then let's take the ivy out. Again, a few little bits left in our ivy dye. Like so. Oh, that's down there again. Okay, so that's also clean. Just make sure we've got all the bits. Ooh, got that one a bit. Oh, I managed to get the waste of coming out of this one caught on the. There we go. Right. Just pop these bits out. Just be careful with that one. Bits around. These little bits here are quite delicate. These little foliage pieces, so just be a little bit careful poking that out. And I think pretty much everything has come out of this one. These little bits in the tendrils of the ivy. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to stick these onto our little pieces of. Oops, must have had a bit of glue on there. That'll cover that. Yeah. So we're going to stick these on. I'm going to just grab paper and turn these over. And I'm going to start with my larger glue applicator on the larger pieces, like so. And on here. And make sure I've got glue on all the bits. And then I'm going to get my fine tip applicator. Now I have refilled my fine tip and it's like a little bit eager to give me the glue. So we're just going to see how we go with this one. So I'm not even squeezing this. I'm just going to let it do its thing because it certainly wants to. What else do we need? Okay, and then on to, you see what I mean? It is just a user error. I should not have added more glue in. Just left it. Okay, you see what I mean? It's just coming out. So all I'm going to do is quickly put that in. Ah, she says quickly. That's not quickly, is it? Oh, I'm just going to put it to one side. It's going to be glue everywhere, but it's okay. I'll deal with it afterwards. You don't need to see me battling with my glue nib. Right, so our ivy one is going to go onto the. No, it's not. It needs to go on here, doesn't it? And like I say, this will fit on here without anything showing because they were cut from the same die. So that one on there, and here's the other piece. This one. Okay. Oh, one slightly moved. Try. Okay, so as this glue is open and it's wanting to come out, let's use this up. It's going to go on the front there, and then this one is easier. This one, like so, onto tag like that, and then going to grab a piece of ribbon, and I've just used a piece of dark blue ribbon to go with the dark blue card. and put that through. Ooh. And get my finger through there, and then pull that round like so. And then I'm just going to use my scissors to cut into the ribbon to create this little, and then that will slip nicely into my card. So there we have our little pocket card with a tag. So I've got the, you see these are this is the original where I did have the card the right side. This is the one where I cut the card to the wrong size, but we can get away with that. I would probably look at trimming that down in some way, but yeah, I would need to have a think about that. But it's not, you know, it's not so bad. I could always put something on here to conceal that once you've got the tag in. There you go. Okay, so we used this lovely floral panel die set from Creative Expressions. We used the Peony one. Have a look on our channel, subscribe so that you get all the updates. And there's another video on there where I've used this die set in a slightly different way. Thank you for joining me.